Happy Friday, legends. Welcome to the first episode of the Aussie OCR podcast, which maybe isn't the first episode. I've been doing chat with Matt for a while, but I've decided that I'm going to keep the Aussie OCR podcast specifically for OCR stuff and chat with Matt. I can then open up to chatting to a couple of different people that aren't in the OCR space. So we will still be there on both channels. I'm excited to kick this first episode off with a bang, chatting to Aussie awesome OCR athlete Liam McKenzie, probably one of the most talented guys in Australia. He won APAC in 2019. I think he picked up his second in the national series that year. I'm really keen to hear how he's been, how he kept on track through 2020, which included a broken wrist that he rehabilitated and kept training. I'm also going to get the scoop on the Liam, the McKenzie method, running an OCR camp that the guys have going in February. So I've just brought him on screen here. Liam, how are you, man?
Good, Matt. How are you?
So good, buddy. It's Friday. It's Friday, man. It's hard not to be good on a Friday, right?
That's it. Friday's a great day.
What have you been up to? I think did you have to rush to get home to make this one?
I did, yeah. So my life's pretty hectic at the moment. I don't mind the chaos, but I've been balancing. Selling my house here in East Ballina, near Byron Bay, if anyone doesn't know where that is. And looking to move north, a little bit closer, a little bit more inland towards the national parks. Basically, situating ourselves on the back doorstep of some steep mountains. So we've been in the works with that. For anyone that doesn't know, I also run like a construction business, landscaping, pool building, carpentry. So anywhere between 10 to 14 hours at the moment on site, and then squeezing 2 to 3 hours into training a day as well. So
just working the professional athlete training into that schedule as well.
Yeah, I guess you could call it semi-pro for now.
Semi-pro?
Hopefully one day I'll be able to make the transition, but
I think it's just a matter of how big the sport is, man. Yeah. I think if the sport was bigger, you've got the talent to be there. I think if you're in the States, you'd probably be drawing a wage. You could probably do this full time. We'll get you there, mate. Hopefully we can grow the sport. If you are watching live, guys, give me a hashtag live or a hashtag replay. We've got Corey here, Scotty, Carl Douglas from WA, Dan from AFOS is here, Funzi's here, Dominica's here. How is everyone? Liam, it's been a while since we've chatted, man. I was looking it up because I think you were one of my earlier episodes of Chat with Matt too, which I think was back in like October of 2019. Yeah, I think was the last time we had a live chat.
It would have been, yeah. Bang on then. It's been a while, yeah.
It has, man. Obviously, we've caught up a heap of times at events. I've grabbed a couple of like finish line interviews with you, usually when you win, or if you've had a particularly good competition with the Gilly Goat or something like that. But yeah, man, you've had heaps going on. You've picked up some injuries. I'm really keen to hear just how everything's been, man. Let's start off. How did you go with 2020? How was your 2020?
Mate, I'll be completely honest in saying that the no racing part for me. So basically, no one knew this yet. So this is all new information, but I'll speak about it now. My 2020 was meant to be the first year that I went as a professional athlete. So I picked up a couple of sponsorship deals, which were enough to help me get to big races, all the World Championships, the OCR Worlds. I was going to compete a few races in Europe and the US just to try and get my name out there and see how I stacked up against the athletes, the Spartan, the OC athletes throughout the world. So I had a really good schedule up. Felt pretty strong coming off the back end of the year, although I did have an injury at the end of 2019. I just had a really good off season and just plenty of swimming, running at a lower mileage, and bike and stuff. And it was the first time I'd properly had an off season, which was quite hard for me to do because I'm one of those people that just likes to run all the time and just not do really high heart rate sessions, but I'm like I like to hit a certain mileage per week, so that was hard. And then basically started off the year with the Marvel Stadium, which I was super pumped for. Managed to pick up the win there, which was awesome. And then moved on to the National Series. So it was like training for a 5K and a beast. So with the way I train,
which is hard.
It is hard, but I guess the way I do train is I specifically train towards an event only a couple of weeks out. The rest of the time it's normal training for me. So hit a certain amount of kilometres, do a certain amount of sessions, which are on the program, hit a certain amount of vertical meters, and so on. So I felt like I was in a good position starting the year with a first and then a second, Adrian Gedney in the Beast, which was an awesome race. It was a lot flatter than I would have expected. I was kind of coming to that race with my my vertical meters feeling pretty good, and a lot of my training was towards that. And then you think Oberon, you add elevation. I
thought it was going to be fucking like this, man.
I was dead set, like, this is my race. And then it was probably the flattest beast I can remember that I've run. I don't even think I got over 200 meters of vertical gain on my watch, which is like I get more than
flat.
They run around my block. So
I think maybe Western Sydney was real flat like that from memory.
Yeah, I think
that was real.
That beast might have been on the same time as the sprint or something they held there. So I didn't actually run that beast, but that was a bit of a shock. But it was good to kind of have. There was a really big turnout there for the elites. We had like guys coming from New Zealand. We had like all the top 10 was super competitive. So I was nervous going into that. Like I don't have too many nerves, but that race I was like, it's on. Like it's on between at least the top 5 who's getting that top spot. So it was an awesome race. And then still had these sponsorship deals lined up. And for me, my plan was basically National Series, Marvel Stadium, and then championship events, which was going to be my sole focus, not do any of the, I guess, the other races that weren't a championship or a National Series. And then, COVID hit, and it was just a crazy shock for everyone, I reckon. And I had flights cancelled, I had events cancelled. Everyone knows, everyone listening to this knows I don't need to talk about COVID. It basically wiped out the entire season, or 90% of the season for the year. All the championship events were gone. Sponsors weren't jumping on board because I wasn't able to get to those events. So, and they weren't on. So I guess that was pretty tough. But I just tried to think of the positives, and the positive I took out of it was, hey, I can't race championship events. I might lose a couple of deals I had, but I've got heaps of time to get really fit. So, and I think 2019, I was racing back to back every 3 weeks. Like it's really hard to constantly perform well, but also to train well. So towards the end of that year, like I was training for the Bright Ultra and running 100K weeks, and I felt like shit towards the end of that year. I was done. I was the lightest I'd ever been at 71 kilos. I think I came second in the championship event there, but I felt like I didn't deserve that because I felt like weak on the obstacles, and it was a good lesson learnt, I guess, because I was running massive mileage. I think I did like a 40K run with 2,000 meters of the week out, and from that event, and I kind of finished that year off injured and pretty shattered. So
was it your Achilles from memory?
Yeah, so I ran the Saturday and felt perfectly fine, apart from feeling a little bit weak compared to how I usually feel. been the lightest I've been as well. And then it was really weird. We went and cooled down at Mount Buffalo in some cold water, which I do all the time in ice baths.
Yeah.
And I woke up in the morning and my Achilles was just stiff, really stiff. Tried to, roll it out, tried to do heaps of calf raises, bit of everything. And it was bad, and I didn't understand how that had happened. So I strapped it up, took some painkillers, jumped in the ultra in pain, but just put my head down. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to run. I'll get it done. Ran the first 15 Ks really well in first, and then had a really good lead. And then Lockie just slowly I started getting slower and slower, and he was coming like he does, snake in the grass. And he goes, what's wrong, mate? And I'm like, mate, my Achilles is getting worse and worse. And then getting slower and slower. Like I was running downhills at like 6-minute pace, which is just, it's really slow for me. And then Quinton passed, and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, my Achilles feels like it's about to snap. And then, kind of one more downhill in third, got to the bottom of the downhill and couldn't even jog. And I was like, I'm not in this game to get a belt buckle. No offense to anyone that does that, but my goal is to win that race or perform at my very best. And I was lucky I pulled it then, because I ended up having a grade 2 tear or close to 2. But my physio said if I'd kept going, I would have snapped my Achilles completely, which would have been 6 months off compared to, I think I had about 4 to 6 weeks off. So
and you seem to bounce back from that, and it's interesting to hear that there was maybe a little bit of an overtraining going into that, because you were fucking on fire, man. 2020, like 2019, I thought you were gonna give Lockie a nudge in that ultra. And,
good for it.
And then seeing how you went out of the gate. I think I spoke to, it might have been Linda at the top of the hill after that first like 8K goat track. And she just said you guys fucking flew through there.
And to put it in perspective, I ran my fastest time up the goat track at the start of the ultra. So I ran a top 10 time on that segment in a 50K ultra, and I felt good. Like I didn't feel like I was like hammering. My heart rate was good.
It.
Yeah. Wasn't redlining. That was a lesson learned, and I kind of took that lesson on. Like I said, I had the off season, and then came into 2020 ready to go, feeling good after the off season. Like I went into Oberon with maybe 3 weeks worth of training. Not Oberon, Marvel Stadium with 2 to 3 weeks worth of running. But specifically for that event. So I was doing like 400 meter repeats and 700 charity, box jump, just getting dialed. And then, ready to go for a big year, and COVID happened. So just took on, I guess, the opportunity to really build my mileage. I've been hitting a few goals like with segments and stuff. So I love running uphill. So if I can get a crown on a mountain, I'll have a go at that. And another good thing that we've been doing is linking up with a few other of the top athletes like Brendan Hunt and Jade Hunt and Quinton. Me and him, he's been on the sunny coast a fair bit, and I'm only 2 hours from there. So we link up for 4 days and we just train, and it's good. Like we're not smashing each other. There's probably a little bit of competition there, but like that's just natural. And we
keeps you honest.
Keeps you honest. Yeah, we're training while we're there, but at the same time, like we're just having a hell time. We're going between running up mountains to jumping on the motorbikes, so which is still a bit of a sore spot for me, but
because that's how you did your wrist, is it not?
Yeah. So I don't know if anyone can see that. Hang on. Wrong way.
There we go. Yeah. Wow.
So I've probably got close to a 20 centimeter scar there.
Wow.
Which basically, well, I actually had quite a big week at work, quite a big week of training, and then went into the Saturday skydiving for a mate's birthday. And for anyone that doesn't know this, I don't really drink, so it's just something it's not really a mental thing or a physical thing. It's just something that I've kind of done over the years. I know you're the same too, Matt. And I guess to a degree it is a mental thing. Like I feel like I've got more clarity and stuff. But
100%.
Yeah, long story short, I had a long day of skydiving and then just driving around a couple of mates that were drinking all day. And I was like the deso driver, and conversations were getting drawn out and had a long day. And then the next day had a few other mates that wanted to go on the motorbike, and I was pretty tired and getting on the bike. For anyone that hasn't been on a dirt bike before, you got to be so switched on. It's like riding a mountain bike downhill. Like if you take your eyes off something for 2 seconds, you'll go off course.
Yeah. Well, we saw what happened to Hunty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So exactly. That's a great scenario. And yeah, I kind of went out for the morning. An hour into it, I came around the corner and just lost my concentration for a bit. The wheels buckled, went flying Superman over the handlebars, and I landed with all my weight like that, and it snapped my wrist out the side. So it was close to a compound. It was like pressing against the skin, but it hadn't burst the skin, which is, I heard it was a good thing. But yeah, I could speak about this for a while, but basically they realigned it, and then I went in for surgery. I've got 8 screws and 2 plates in there at the moment. And I think that was 12 weeks out from the Gold Coast. So I was feeling really good for the Gold Coast. And then that happened.
It would have been like September, maybe?
Yeah. And like,
I was actually just trying to find a photo of it on your IG. It must have just been on your stories. I found a photo of you with a cast.
I'll click through my phone as we're talking, and I'll pull up the X-rays.
Yeah, because it was pretty fucking savage. Do I remember it was like hanging lower? Or
yeah,
something?
like that. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, that kind of put a big dent in what I was going to do, and I knew the Gold Coast wasn't going to be massive, like for an elite wave. I knew it was going to be the Queensland boys and whoever else lived near there, which is not too many. So I was actually told by 2 surgeons that there was no chance I'd be racing. There's no chance I'd be racing at all for the year. I'll be lucky if I can do a push-up. And I end up working with a physio who works with Olympians. He's up in up near Cabarita there. He mainly works with
what's his name?
His name is oh my god.
Business is good.
Yeah, HP, so High Performance Center. So he basically is the physio for all the Australian surfers, like all the top CT guys, and then Paul, that's his name.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, I went to 2 physios before that. They said the same thing. They're giving me, move this, move that back, rah. And I'm like, mate, if I want to do exercises like that, I'll just jump on Google. So I came to him. I reached out to him and said, hey, I know you probably haven't even heard of obstacle course racing, but this is my background. This is what I do. I've got a race coming up in 12 weeks. I've been told, I'm still in a cast at this point. I've been told that there's no chance that I'll be able to race. I said, I don't want to promise off you, but I just want you to let me know if it's something that you'd be willing to take on, and is it something that you'd be willing to push me pretty hard with. So he said, yeah, mate, no worries, come up. We had a good meeting, and we did some intensive stuff. 2 weeks out of the operation, I was back doing all mobility stuff, trying to get the wrist back as much as possible while it was still broken, but because I had the screws and plates, I was able to move it around.
Yeah.
Long story short, we pushed pretty hard. And it was even at the point where maybe at week 10, he's like, Matt, I don't want to tell you you can't race, but he's like, just be honest with yourself about it. He's like, is it a big race? Is it like a championship event?
Is it worth
it? I said, no, it's not, but I haven't raced for months, and I'd love to get out there. And a couple of days out, I don't think I signed up for the race, and maybe 2-3 days out, he said, yeah, let's go. We did a bit of a simulation together. with a bit of hanging stuff, a couple of pull-ups, and strapped up my wrist. And he said, what race is it? And I said, oh, well, it's actually 3 races. And he said, oh, maybe really pushing it. How about you just race the Saturday? Which for me worked pretty well. I'd worked up a big aerobic base. I knew there was some vert finally and some inner beast. So I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's do the beast. And had a good race. It was a super tough battle. I'd probably have to say it was the toughest beast condition-wise that I've ever run in. And I've raced in Malaysia in 36-degree heat. China was 2,000 metres of elevation. So this was right up there. Had a really good battle, but after the first day, my wrist started getting pretty swollen. And, this is something that I should have pulled the pin on for the Sunday, but it just, the vibe was good. The competition was there. Like, I wanted to try and have a good night at trying to, I guess, win the Sunday. And I had a pretty good race on the Saturday in the super, but Quinton was just too strong. His obstacle proficiency was just in and out, whereas I felt like I was barely moving through the things. Beck showed me a video of me on the rings actually, and I was like, that is embarrassing.
Yeah, but I imagine you wouldn't have been able to train that at all. Like, you wouldn't have been able to train obstacles in the lead up.
Zero training when it came to grip strength, but I've been climbing for years. I wasn't worried about the grip strength. The biggest thing I was worried about was, and it was my toughest obstacle on the Saturday. Was the farmer's carry. I don't know if you remember that. Pretty brutal.
It was a savage farmer's carry.
Man, I felt like my wrist was about to pop out on that. So I just put my head down, ground it out, and even on the sandbag carry, the way I carried, I kind of just like pinch it like that. That was kind of hurting the wrist a bit.
So just a couple of things that slowed you down.
Yeah, but like I think even if I was in my complete peak form, I ran the beast well. And the Sunday, I think it just might have been a closer battle. Like, Quinton had me pretty sorted on the Sunday. So.
It was a tough event, man. Like, that's definitely the hardest conditions I've had in Australia, and I don't know whether, like, it's been hotter at Bright than I remember. It's a lot more humid on the GC, but I was sort of trying to think about it, and I don't know if it's just that we didn't have events for a long time and everyone sort of wasn't as conditioned as they could have been, or I don't know, man. It was rough.
I can't put my finger on it, but it was a lot of dry heat and like dust and dusty heat. So, a lot of dust. So like, I had like a little ring, you know, when you get that little black ring around your mouth from the dust, and like I put myself in, like, I think of runs that I would do to simulate that before that race, and like, that was brutal, man. Like, that was super tough, like, to the point where like, guys were walking, like elites were walking.
Janenga, man, I think he walked like the last K. Like, from Stairway to Starter, he was cramping there.
He's a big mileage runner, and like Tony was like minutes behind us, and like it's just I was stoked. Like, that's the type of racing that I love. Like let's get out and let's see what we're
get in the trenches.
Yeah, exactly. So that was nice to race, and mate, since then I've just been still working on the rehab for the wrist. I'm in the process of engaging a surgeon to actually take the metal out. So this is my other wrist. You can see I've got some pretty good movement on there, and then on this side, that's the max I've got, and that actually hurts a little bit. So because the plates and stuff are in there, they limit my movement, which I found hasn't been too bad. I reckon I haven't done any thrusters with the bar yet. I reckon that would hurt a fair bit, but so I'm in the process of that. So I'm just trying to figure out when I can fit that in. Because March, we're coming up to March, which is a few races. So we've got lined up, which I'm super pumped for, is Red Dust down in Western Australia. So I'm to be honest, I'm sick of all the Perth guys carrying on about that they live so far away from everyone. I know a few of you listening. I saw you pop up there, Carl.
I think Shannon Daly's here as well.
Shannon, you guys live 4 hours away. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I reckon you're just too scared to come race on the East Coast. But you know what? We're going to come over there, and we're going to see what you guys are made of. But it looks like an absolutely awesome event. Like, I get super psyched on races that have obstacles that are fallible and are tough on the grip heavy stuff. So I'm super pumped to get down there. Like, the guys that are running that are awesome. And then, so myself, Beck and Quinton are going to come down for that one, which will be exciting. And then a week after that, we're back home. And then Tony Curtis actually hit me up to do a local race around here called the Samson Challenge.
I know the Samson Challenge. When's that on?
Whereabouts is it?
When it's Lismore, isn't it?
Yeah, Lismore. So Tony, like it's a pretty big race. Like people come down from the Gold Coast and the mid-north coast, and basically what it is the best way to describe it would be like a bit of obstacle course racing, a lot of strength stuff. So you've got like sled pulls, you've got kind of like a little bit of CrossFit kind of strongman stuff, and then there's like a 2K run in it. There's a swim as well, so you do like meter max efforts with a partner. So the whole thing's like a team. So like me and Tony will swim together, and he has to swim behind me. And then we'll do 50 meters, and then the other two people go. Same thing with like sled pulls. We actually did some training last weekend. I wasn't sure how my wrist was going to go, and it felt good. It felt way better than it did on the Gold Coast. So I'm super psyched for that. Something different. And then I think what's after that? You're probably better at this than me, Matt.
When is the Samson, man?
Samson is on
very first weekend in March, 3rd and 4th.
No, yeah, that's right. Samson Challenge is before Red Dust.
Red Dust is 16th.
Beck knows the date, so I just
Beck's the calendar girl.
I put my trail running shoes on and rock up.
So Beck, when's Samson?
It's first weekend in March.
You sure?
I'll be at Enduro then.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, it's the same weekend as Enduro. So, which I'd love to do that one year. The solo. We did the team in 2018.
Yeah. What was the name of the team?
Spice Girls.
Spice Boys.
Spice Boys.
That was it. You guys, did you do like 21 fucking laps or something?
Yeah, we did something like that, maybe 20. I really enjoyed that, and like my plan for endurance racing, I guess, is that's where I kind of want my career to end up. So once I feel like I'm not at the top of my game in supers and sprints and beasts, that'll be my sole focus, like 50K trail races, 24-hour races, 12-hour. Like I did the 12-hour at Raw against Lockie and a few of the boys. Yeah, and I thoroughly enjoyed that.
It's fun. That's probably my favourite event. Between that, maybe the 24-hour, but I love that Raw Challenge 12-hour.
Yeah. So I think depending on how everything goes with races and stuff like that, it's in my 5-year plan. So I'm hoping Lockie's legs are still moving because I'll call out that old man soon.
Yeah.
With the race happening, I don't even like to get a race against him in an ultra, a Spartan ultra again, because I just feel like a little bit disappointed in not finishing that and getting injured for that. So hopefully Fully hasn't signed.
I wonder if he'll travel, because I know he said he's pretty much done. Like he's not going to travel anymore, but hopefully he goes to Bright just to give the a nudge.
It'd be awesome. I'll call him out. I'll rep him up. I don't even know what the championship event. The thing that I find always clashes is the Beast clashes with the Ultra. Like, it would be so good if the Beast was on the Saturday and then the Ultra is on the Sunday. If anyone from Spartan's listening,
can you please not get that to happen? Because then I'll feel obliged to do both of them.
I'm going to sign it up. I'm going to sign you up, and then we'll.
And hurricane heats and fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's all fun.
Yeah. So yeah,
a big year, and I want to I want to backpedal a little bit back to 2020. And obviously, you know, you said you don't have to explain COVID to people. We've all lived this fucking trauma. Everyone's gone through it, and it's not been easy for anyone. But I'm really interested to hear, like, the perspective from an athlete who, and now that I hear that you know, there's some sponsorship stuff coming, that this has more weight again. But I'm really interested to hear, like, such a big part of your life and your, like, almost everything you do is probably driven towards this, you know. Like, what does that feel like when that gets snatched away? Yeah. How do you cope with that mentally?
Yeah, it's disheartening because you put so much time and effort, and you know where you're at with your fitness. You've worked so hard with that, and it's like it's not easy to line up those deals as well. Like you're reaching out to plenty of companies, and you, like, for me, I want to work with companies that are fully back. So yeah, one of them was Flight Centre, which meant that basically they were going to cover flights for me in certain areas.
Cool.
Yeah, which is huge. Like
that's a big cost.
Yeah, as a semi-professional athlete, like a lot of the time you've got to get yourself to events. You might get a bonus if you race well at a championship event, but it does add up. So stuff like that's huge, and I love my career to go to a full professional athlete. And I think the only way for me to do that was to race in the States and Europe and stuff like that. And like I knew where I needed to be fitness-wise, and I felt pretty good, especially for like a mountain race. And I was kind of ready to stack up against those guys. So it was pretty shattering. Yeah, like I think the thing that benefited us a little bit was we moved from Sydney to the North Coast as well, far North Coast, New South Wales, near Byron. So we had the whole area to explore, all these new trails, a lot more access to the trails than where we used to live. We used to run the same ones day to day. So
just running laps of the lake at Narrabeen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's probably a few good trails around the backside of that too many people don't know about. But like we had that, and I'll be honest. Like I was super frustrated because it was my year to really have a crack, and I think I just dialed a little bit of that aggression and frustration into my training, and I've moved my focus towards like running PBs in 5Ks, 10Ks. I got back into my track training, which was awesome. Training with, and that's the thing. I hadn't trained on the track since I was quite young, so jumping in and being beaten by 17-year-olds running 15-minute 5Ks, you get humbled pretty quick. But at the same time, like I was training with a level of athletes that I hadn't trained with before, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Especially with my running. So we were kind of like my running times were coming down and down and down. And I think it's going to continue that way, which is pretty exciting. On the figures and stuff, and my fitness and how I was feeling. So, I guess I just shifted my focus towards that. I was doing a couple of like track meets. I had a few trail races lined up, but they were cancelled as well. So, I would say I just set myself some goals, hit certain amount of mileage a week, hit certain amount of vert per week, track my fitness, make sure it was sitting at a good spot, and just keep in contact with the sponsors that still backed me, and which like for these guys right now, I'll give them a shout out.
I could guess who a few of the sponsors were.
No, these like I've been through for years, and they've been awesome. Yeah. Like the product's so good, and these guys I've jumped on with, and they're just a younger crew, and they're so good. Cool. Like, I'm so appreciative of the guys that stuck with us, because it's easily something you can say, you know what, like we're going through COVID too, like see you later. And
well, I imagine Flight Centre would have had to do that. They were shutting stores left, right, and centre. Like they got fucking decimated.
Exactly. Yeah, so that was a shame, but hopefully we can renegotiate something once we. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's hard to organise anything, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel you.
International stuff happening, so it's probably going to be another year of just getting fit, doing some local trail runs, and hopefully getting a few Spartan races in, and Red Dust and whatever else I can kind of squeeze my way into.
Yeah, cool. Well, hopefully we can travel fucking soon.
Yeah.
But no, that's awesome. So it's just channel the aggression, channel the frustration.
I'm not an aggressive person, but I'm. Beck's laughing. I would say my personality is quite like it's full on. Like I need to be doing stuff 24/7. Like I had a 14-hour day, and I'm already thinking like, oh, how far am I going to run tonight? How far am I going to run tomorrow? Like it's just go, and I don't do well relaxing. So when I channeled a lot of that towards my events, and I was like signed up, ready to go, like I was just feeling really good, and I had to shift that focus towards something else. Otherwise, I just
got to keep yourself busy.
Yeah, if I keep myself busy, I'm good. Yeah, if I'm on holidays and I'm not allowed to run anywhere or whatever, it's gonna be
you go a bit crazy. You mentioned that with the track training and the training that you're doing, that your running's getting much faster. You're just hitting PBs, and it's like really good progression. How does that different to say 2019 when you seemed like you were in your fucking prime? I saw you out training every weekend. You were doing a lot. What's the difference? Were you improving then and the same, or is there a difference there?
I would say the level between the top 5 elites, pretty similar times. Like we're talking like, let's just do an example of a 5K at 16:30, 16:40, around that. And that's the time, if you're running around those times and you're a good obstacle course racer, you can cycle through those obstacles, manage your heart rate, you're going to be constantly racing well in Australia. If you want to go onto the international stage, you're racing guys that are running 32-minute 5Ks, 15, 30. Oh, sorry, 10Ks. Yep. Like those running times are coming down. So even though obstacle proficiency is a massive thing in obstacle course racing, running's huge. So for me to be on a competitive stage, and this is a conversation I've had with Matt Murphy about, who's a good mate and sponsors me through VJ Sport Australia.
Oh, cool.
He said, for you to be competitive, mate, you need to get your times down. And and that's what I was working on. I was like, hey, let's just get a long-term goal now with the COVID, and let's just have a solid year of running faster. So,
cool.
We're bringing the times down big time, which is exciting. And I feel like with the international travel not being on the cards, potentially maybe towards the end of the year, that just gives me more time to be prepared. I'm not going to be traveling to be another number. I want to be traveling to a top 10 in a championship race at least. So I know where I need to be. It's only going to correlate well for me in the Australian races as well. But to be competitive overseas, you really kind of need to be matching those guys or close to their times. So
well, I imagine you're not really failing any obstacles now.
Yeah,
you're proficient.
Spear throw is always
always will be.
Yeah, I haven't failed it for a while, touch wood, but I don't take that obstacle as a joke. We practice at home a couple of days out, not every day. I actually went through a stage where I was doing it, and then I think I psyched myself out even more. Throwing the spear every day, and then I'm just going, yeah. And then you get on site on the race, and you kind of just so worked up about it. So I only do that a couple of days out now, a few times just so we're feeling comfortable within our hand and stuff. But like obstacle wise, maybe I can work on gaining like half a second or a second potentially on some. The carries have been working on a fair bit too throughout this off season. So doing a bit of weighted running and stuff like that.
Cool.
Yeah, it's always been not a weakness of mine, but something that when I get to, I'm like, shit, like we got to sandbag carry.
Does it affect your pace out of the carry as well? Like, are the legs just a bit heavy and it slows the run down? Or
no, like I've always been able to run out of like I guess fatigued legs. Like a lot of the training I'll simulate that as well. So yeah, I know what my race pace is on trails and flats and stuff like that. So I'll just come out of the obstacle, hit that pace. If I can run faster than that pace, I run faster. I just make sure I'm not running slower than that pace. And yeah, you can get that from doing many different things. Yeah. Whether you do a heavy leg session and then you run some repeats, or you're on your feet all day at work and then you're running mileage after work, or you're doing some carry stuff in between some 400s, whatever. But I think like to simulate that will benefit you massively in a race.
Yeah. Cool. So the result, would you say, is just the fact that you're able to get out of your own way in 2020 because you weren't racing every other weekend? So
Yeah.
you're able to get a bit more serious about a program and actually build volume in. And
yeah, I guess it's really so, and studies have shown this, and especially for athletes racing every couple of weeks, like you're not really gaining too much fitness. You're sitting at that same fitness level.
Yeah.
So you're maintaining that fitness. If anything, your fitness will be decreasing as well because your body's recovering. And I think the year of 2019, I stayed at a plateau, like a decent plateau, but still wasn't gaining any.
Couldn't squeeze any more juice out.
My run times weren't getting that much faster. You're just holding on for the year really. So, and you only have to look at the guys that have won the world championship events, like Cody Mode, what's his name? Hobie Call, Robert Killian, all those guys, their mileage is pretty big, but they're not racing every weekend. Like the year that Cody won, he raced twice. Like Hobie came and maybe raced a championship event here or there and won. So John Alban, perfect example too. So it's like those guys are gaining that fitness, their body's not breaking down, and then they're able to perform at a high level.
And it's just a difference in being that professional athlete, isn't it? Like you look at professional marathon runners, they're not running events every second weekend. You know, they're tuning up for events months out.
Yeah, it's I guess it's like another transition on top of going from like an elite racer to a championship racer. I feel like it's nearly in its own category to a degree, because like your sole focus is on those big events. Like you're not worried about getting the podium at a smaller scale event. You're worrying about stacking up against like the best guys in the world. You got to be at your very best. Yeah.
So you're actually tapering, and you're not just squeezing little lazy supers here and there.
Yeah. I'm my tapering is a little bit different to everyone. Like I nearly train exactly the same as I do like running into an event. And it's something that has just worked for me over years. I might slowly drop my mileage, but my intensity's there. Because I've like someone like a Chris or a Quinton, like they're dropping their mileage massive the week out. They might run like 5-10Ks, whereas I'm coming into an event at least 50, 60, still running vert and stuff like that. And I just feel like my body feels a lot better off that, which is kind of strange to think about. But like I've had instances where I've tried to taper like that and I've rocked up and I've just felt like a slug. Like I just feel my legs are heavy. Like I just need a little bit of tension through the legs. Because most of my PBs, I say this to everyone all the time. It's like you don't taper for a PB for a 5K park run. You're training all week, right? So there's got to be a little bit of science behind that madness. But everyone's
I think as long as there's not too much intensity, because otherwise
Yeah,
you're back in the same situation that you were when you were racing every weekend.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
No, if you're smart about it, I
no,
think.
that's interesting though. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Learning your secrets, mate.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you guys want to hear some more secrets, little plug. Our camp is on the 20th of Feb. So we've released a few things on Instagram, but we're super stoked to have
let's
Quinton on board. We've got the Hunts coming, Brendan and Jade. Adrian potentially going to come down for a day too. We've got Beck there. Yeah, yep. We got Beck coming down too, and then we might have a couple more. So I hope I didn't leave anyone out. Oh.
Here we are.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So there we go. So if you go just where you are there, Matt, you've got so we've got a 1 day pass too. So you can come for the Saturday or the Sunday. The Saturday's basically going to be a lot of trail running. A lot of track running. A lot of information on recovery, what we do, how we recover from our training. We're doing some strength work as well. And then, we're just going to do a lot of nutrition. I always get hit up about what I eat all the time. So we're going to go right through how we, what we eat, going through, I guess, how we prepare for races. Just going to be so many things that we've figured out over the years that have really helped us take massive times off our running times, off our obstacle course, speed, stuff like that. So I don't know if we'll ever hold an event like this again. It's been tough due to COVID too. It was meant to be back will know this.
May of last year.
Back in May last year. So
and because it was originally in Narrabeen, wasn't it?
Yep. And then we moved north, and we're like, hey, there's plenty of people up on the Gold Coast that like obstacle course racing, and I actually ran a race at the High Performance Centre there, a 5K or 3K Masters. So I'm 31 now, so I'm getting on. I'm in the Masters category now, which is a bit of a rude shock when I rocked up. I was like, hang on, I'm not that old. It's going to be super exciting. Like I guess one thing we've been getting a lot is like, hey, we don't think we're fit enough. And it's not going to be an extreme level. We're going to categorize it in like whatever your fitness level is. It's like you do this session to whatever level you got. Like we're all there just to do our best and have some fun and just to learn a little bit more insight into, I guess, what we do day to day, being an athlete, and how we train and prepare, and the little things we get out over the years that have helped us get to where we are. And hopefully
I'll be down there, man. I'll be coming down because did you hear I was doing Taipan?
I sure did. Yeah.
We actually had to pull it. We actually put it all on hold and refunded everyone's tickets because we found out we had a bit of a clash with someone else in the industry. So I'd actually so until we can sort out that fucking red tape, that's all on hold. But originally I'd planned the date the week before because I didn't want to clash with your thing. So we'll definitely be there. But yeah, I know how much work goes into planning events because I did enough of it.
A lot of work that's gone into this, but I guess the whole reason why I do the whole Instagram thing is like that's what I like doing it. I like giving back where I can. I'm not that guy that walks around and doesn't say hi to anyone. Like if you guys want to get faster at running, like just ask me at my camp.
Like you both you and Beck are just lovely. You know, you've always got time to chat to everyone at the events. You know, you're very, very approachable, and
appreciate it. Yeah,
you know that's a good thing. I've actually just posted your handle in the chat, so get over there, give him a follow. You can find him at the McKenzie Method as well. Just quickly, man, and I am going to definitely come down to the event, whether or not Dom and I just have a train with you guys, or I'm happy to sort of help out if you guys need anyone else from a coaching standpoint. But we'll talk about that later. But can you give me like a quick, if people don't know what it is, can you give me like a 30-second thing, and I'll split it out as a clip that I'll post in a few places.
Okay, sweet. Give me 2 secs so I can just
You're
get
right.
out so I don't embarrass myself.
That's all right. I do that every fucking day, live usually. Dion's saying you. Dion from Red Dust.
Hey Dion, we're training pretty hard to get ready for your event, so
Yeah,
we're
really gonna come over there and smoke all you WA boys. Well, I'm
Oh,
not.
I'm
I'm gonna film Liam at the finish line.
A bit of competition, you know, just let them, I guess, race outside their little bubble that they like to segregate in.
In fairness, they are in the most isolated city in the fucking world. Like it's,
Oh yeah, for sure,
it's like
for
a
sure.
42-hour flight to get to Sydney.
That's what they'll tell you anyway. But I've been there multiple times. And it's not...
It is good. My sister's in Perth, man.
Yeah,
she's performing at the Fringe Festival at the moment.
You do feel like you're in another country nearly when you're over there. So, like you've got the pristine water. It's so warm. Like it's like you feel like you're nearly in Bali, which you pretty much are. Do you want me to run through that camp thing now? What do you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was just gonna grab like a crop of like 30 seconds or a minute, and then just post it on my socials and in the FitFam group, just in case anyone was looking for tickets. So.
Yeah, cool. Exciting. All right. Hey guys, we're super pumped about running our camp on the Gold Coast in the High Performance Centre up there, along with running through the Gold Coast hinterland. So we are so excited to have a few top athletes and good friends coming along as well. We've got the Hunts, Brendan and Jade that are coming up. We've got Quinton and potentially his partner Grace coming down too. And then we've got a few other people coming down. We've got Matt Moore coming down, which is super exciting. But yeah, just a lot of good bunch of people that have signed up for tickets. I have mentioned this before, but we've got a 1-day pass and a 2-day pass. The 2-day passes are nearly sold out, guys. Jump on board. There is no level of fitness that is required for this. The sessions are catered for anybody. If you have ever run a sprint before, you are more than capable of coming to our camp and having a good time. Even if you haven't run a sprint, if you walk to work in the morning, you'll be fine. We're going to push you hard, I'm not going to lie, but we'll push you to your capability. So we want you to get a lot out of this weekend. We're going to give you a lot of tips that have helped us throughout the years with our running technique, our training, our nutrition, our grip strength, what we do, and what's really benefited us. So basically the schedule will be, session 1 will be track and speed work. So I'm not going to run through the session now, but you kind of get where we're heading with that. So we'll work on your technique there. We're also got a photographer for the whole event. So you'll get some professional photos, and potentially videos as well. So, and we'll be giving away a couple of McKenzie method shirts. Bex also just pointed out as well, we've got some great sponsors on board. We've got True, so you guys will all be walking away with a bag of goodies with the stuff that we take daily as well. So this is really catered to our nutrition. So we're making sure you guys can test out what we take, and it's worked for us for years. It's all legal. It's all stuff you can take. It's all been tested. Beck would be a way better person to talk about that. And then, yeah, we've got Dingo sandbags on board, so we're obviously going to be doing some strength work as well. We've got VJ Sport on board too, and anyway, off Fractel, so keeping us our heads out of the sun. Not to get off track, session 2 will be some pool and aerobic work as well. So we'll run through our aerobic training, which is super important for you to base your training around that aerobic to build your base. And also to get fitter and not burn yourself out. Session 3 will be some strength and grit. This is all on Saturday, guys. So we'll be training. We're going to have breaks in between each one. Food is also catered for as well. So you guys will be eating what we eat daily. And then in the afternoon, we're going to have some ice baths and just a recovery session. So we'll run through how we recover, how we're able to adapt to training hard every day. And recovering from big events. So, this is, again, I'm not sure if we're ever going to be able to hold a camp like this again. We've put a lot of work into this. if it's successful and we get a lot out of it and we get some good feedback, we'll potentially look at doing it, maybe even another state. So yeah, that's the Saturday, guys. Quickly, the Sunday will be a hinterland trail run with some nice steep hills for you guys. We've got a few surprises in there as well, which I'm not going to let you know about yet. But basically, you'll be working hard in that session. We'll be simulating a few ways in how you can get ready for a race, like a Bright. So yeah, the things that have worked for us and what we throw into our daily schedule. Session 2 will be again on nutrition, recovery, and accountability. Sorry if I'm going too long with this, Matt.
It's okay.
Accountability is huge. It's one of my biggest things that I harp on about to my athletes. They all do a training program, and they all have a diary. So if they're not logging in their sessions, if they're not giving me notes, if they've got an excuse that's not an excuse for not finishing, they know we're on there.
Coaches love those.
Yeah. But no, accountability is huge, and just consistency. So we're going to go through,
Sure.
being consistent. And the last session we're going to be doing is rock climbing. So we do a fair bit of this. So we're going to do some probably bouldering, depending on if we can get the numbers to do some rock climbing. If not, we'll just do some bouldering. It's a great way to build your grip strength. We'll also go through a lot of techniques as well. Like myself and Quinton have been climbing for years. So we can give you guys a few tips on that as well, and just kind of get you into a habit of doing that. You may like it, you may not like it, but either way, it's a great time. Like we'll have a couple of good belly laughs out there, and potentially finishing up with one more recovery session after that. So it's an absolute jam-packed weekend.
Loaded.
It's loaded to the brim. You guys will be going out of the camp feeling fulfilled, hopefully learning a lot from the knowledge we're able to pass on to you guys, and hopefully we can just build a bit of a relationship into helping you guys out in the future. So either way, we're just there to have fun and just kind of come together as a community, because it's been a while that everyone's been able to kind of congregate together and hopefully have some more personal social interactions than Zoom chats.
Yeah, definitely. And a couple of people commenting. Sam saying, I wish I could come. My daughter is getting married on the 20th. A family coming from Vic and Cairns, so I can't make it that one, unfortunately. Maddie, you're off the hook. Maddie Probes has also said, I'm not sure if people from Sydney can cross the Queensland border yet to go to the weekend. Maybe just play that by ear.
Yeah, that's one thing that we've had a little bit as well. Again, we're nearly running out of tickets. So if anyone does buy a ticket and that happens, we'll refund you straight away. We don't know about the border. Do you have any updates? Yeah, we're not sure about the Sydney. But guys, we're still
it's looking good.
4 weeks away. So they could definitely open up the borders. Again, if you want to come, grab a ticket. If you can't come due to that fact, we'll refund you. If you can't come, we'll refund you either way. We're not going to hold your money. We're not going to give you a pass for the next one. You'll get your money back. So if you want to come, jump on board. Otherwise, you might miss out.
Cool. Thanks for that, man. And I'll throw a post up with all the links, but I've just posted it in the comments as well, guys, themckenziemethod.com.au. You can check it out, get your tickets there. Or who can they message? Can they just message you direct through Instagram if they've got a question?
Myself on my Instagram. They can send me a message on Facebook, whatever. They can send us a message on the McKenzie Method. They can send Beck a message. Whatever works. We're pretty on those social aspects, and we'll get back to you pretty quick. So any queries, guys, hit us up. But we have to lock down some numbers, especially for the overnight stay, pretty damn soon. And we also need to order the right amount of products for everyone. So don't leave it last minute, please.
Cool. So Dingo Sandbags is one of his sponsors. I might grab the contact for whoever that is. I broke my sandbag the other day. I just had a couple of cheap ones, but I broke it.
Mate, they're awesome. They're so good. Yeah.
They are real good.
Yeah.
I was looking at them at the fitness expo. Probably the last fitness expo I was at. So I might get a contact for whoever that is
Yeah, for sure. So from memory, they sponsor True Grit. Someone I'm sure would know this, but I remember racing True Grit 10K before the enduro, and I have a distinct memory of picking up the sandbag and being like, "This feels really good." I could be wrong. It could have been another
For the
event.
sandbag carry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen them at a race somewhere.
They've got all different colours for different sizes, but
Yeah,
the good thing
they're
about them is
good gear.
handles on one side, you've got handles this way. We've had the same ones for ages. I slam them on the ground. I do everything and drag them, and they're awesome, and they're a great company as well. So.
That's what I need. I put my gear through hell. So
100%.
anyway, I'll message you. I'll get a contact for that. But did I miss any of your sponsors for that event? True, Dingo, Fractal. Did I miss anyone else?
VJ Sport Australia. Again, like I will never work with a company that I don't fully back. They have to be a good product. They have to be good people. And I truly swear by these guys. They back me. Their products are good. Like they're durable. All the nutrition stuff's been great in helping me recover. The VJ Sport shoes, like I don't know if people want to pair them, but like I wear them daily in the trails, and I rarely slip over. And it's funny actually, because we ran up Mount Warning for Chris Woolley's birthday the other day. For anyone that doesn't know that run, it's 1,000 meters over 7K, so it's pretty steep, pretty treacherous as well. Like as you get towards the last 3Ks, because it's like an old volcano, so it's like a little single trail, heaps rocky.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So it's actually, I found out a fact about it, that it's the first place to see the sunrise in the whole of mainland Australia in winter. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And when you're up there, Matt, you can see like all the way to the Gold Coast. You can see all the coast of Byron Bay. You can see all south from there.
What's it called again?
Called Mount Warning.
Mount Warning.
Yeah. So that's where we're hoping to base ourselves.
We'll have to shoot down there once the border opens.
Yeah, well, I think it's actually closed at the moment. I have been running it for anyone that...
that doesn't usually stop me too much.
Yeah, well, I have the thought in my head, if they're going to try and find me for running it, I'm just going to run past them anyway. So, like, oh, really? Yeah, no worries, pass us the fine, But yeah, so we ran up that, and we had a mate who's he's a Ironman athlete, super fit. He's like a 15-minute 5K. Anyway, he rocks up in some Next Percent shoes, and I look at him straight away going, man, like, do you understand what we're about to do? He's like, oh, yeah, all good. And, it was like watching Bambi on ice. He's just sleeping all me and Chris
they are fucking good shoes, man. As far as the grip goes, I bought a pair of the IROC 3s and the Maxes, but they're just so narrow.
Yeah,
narrow.
If you've got a wide foot, they do a specific wide shoe as well. But it's a special order. So if you guys are wanting it, a wider VJ shoe, just hit them up. Yeah, hit them up on VJ Sport Australia and their Instagram.
Just message Maddie.
Yeah, or just message Maddie, or if you can't get through to them, guys, just send me a message and I'll sort it out for you. But like I've got 1,000+ Ks out of mine running on rock and dirt and stuff like that, so they're durable. If you do have a wide foot, go with the wider fit. But we've got some great guys on board. We've got a couple of Spartan things as well, which we're going to chuck away that we're going to hand out as well, like a bit of gear from Spartan, which is awesome. So, be exciting. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Just having everyone there and training hard.
Yeah, catching up. Are you hitting Raw Challenge?
Raw Challenge clashes with Red Dust. So Sydney one. Yeah, no. So we won't be doing the Sydney one this year, unfortunately. The dash anyway.
No. So the dash So, well, that is happening as well. That's a week after Enduro, so a week after Samson. But the week after that is Raw Challenge Gold Coast.
Okay, so I'll be going Samson Challenge to Red Dust to Raw Challenge Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So I'm back to where I started in 2018.
At least they're short races.
No, I'm so yeah, and they're all different events as well. So you got you got Samson Challenge, which is like more strength orientated. The running's not too crazy. You got to run as a team. So we're actually training with a bloke that was not as quick as us, and we were pushing him up the hill. So we're running a 4 minute K, pushing a big ladder.
Actually pushing him?
Literally pushing. So I had one side me, one side Tony. We're just pushing him as we're going up the hill just to keep the pace. So
is that a service you offer? Because I'd pay you for that.
No, 100%. Yeah, get me in your wave. We'll work something out, mate. But I think I filmed a little bit of the Raw Challenge on the Gold Coast, and I'm just the whole time just going, maybe I could have done this with one arm, like maybe.
You probably could have.
I'll be there for sure. And like you said, it's short events.
I think it's a fun event too.
Train on.
Was that the first time you'd been to that Raw Challenge Gold Coast? Because
So
you would have travelled for before.
Yeah, no. So previously, being a Northern Beaches resident, we were racing up at Doyleson there, which I still will claim as the best course that I've raced on. I haven't made those Worlds yet.
I love it.
That course will absolutely test your grip strength, your upper body, the run segment in its like especially in the stamina, it's like 16 Ks. Like the stamina for me was the race that I felt I raced the best there. And I just I couldn't wipe the smile off my face. So to those guys down there, I know they're doing some big stuff with new obstacles and stuff like that. So I'm hoping I can get down there for their next race, which will hopefully be the stamina or maybe the enduro. So
yeah, I don't know how much of the Raw Challenge Gold Coast course you saw as you were running around with the cameras, but it's quite similar. So it was obviously started by the same people. It's quite similar obstacle wise. I would say the running is more interesting because like Raw Challenge Dawson it's a great course. It's lovely. It's amazing. The obstacles are great, but the run's a bit boring. Like it's not super challenging. It's like 1.5 Ks at the start where it's pretty much flat. A fire trail. The running is a bit more interesting at Raw. There's a couple little hills that they find. But the obstacles aren't quite as upper body heavy. Like those especially those A-frames and that sort of gauntlet where they send you through at Dawson is fucking testing, man.
Oh, I think that that gorilla setup they've got, which is like 60 meters of rings and bars, and the pipe. If you got to do on that pipe there, you've got to have some serious grip strength. So I think I'm a big fan of obstacle course races like that. Like they're
me too.
Yeah, they just really test you out. Like I love a good Spartan race, but when it comes to a grip heavy thing and stuff, that's like people can fail. You know what I mean? You get so comfortable with doing tools that they test you. But if you've done them enough, you can work your way through them. But when you jump and stuff like that, and I've been wanting to get to the OCR Worlds for a while. But again, I only wanted to travel for that when I thought I was ready to really have a crack at that. So
sure. I think it's exciting that the sport's growing, and because the sport's growing, the difficulty of things is getting higher. Like more people can do shit, right? So you've got like Red Dust popping up that have got some really interesting, difficult obstacles. Which is really cool.
I know those guys are working. We had a little chat actually, and I said, make sure you get some heavy carries in there. Like let's get some carries, and I know they sorted that out, which is pretty cool. So they're like taking some feedback off some of us guys as well, which is awesome. And I know they're just going to keep evolving as well. So the sport's getting it's growing. I think COVID's put a slight little spanner in the works, maybe for international travel, but I think everyone just needs to keep like a level head and just focus on just bettering yourself. Like there's one post note, it sounds super corny, but every day is a chance to better yourself, and it's simple and it's just so true. Like every day you have the opportunity to better yourself. So
Yeah.
I can't stand when I hear people say that workout was easy. It's like, was that workout easy, or did you make it easy? Because that workout can be as hard as you possibly make it. Oh, that beast was easy. If that beast was easy, there's something wrong with you, because and you haven't put your whole heart into it. You should have gone out and you should be collapsing at the finish line. So I think every day, if you put in 100%, make sure you're training correctly, in working in the correct heart rate, so you're not smashing yourself, but just stay consistent, and you'll be so surprised with what you can achieve, and just keep it relative to where you are as well. There's a few funny things I've seen pop up on COVID. A few messages from people going, "I'm going to come and beat you this year."
Righto. And do you want to throw anyone under the bus?
No, it's not really anyone that I've really raced against before. So it's kind of like, or like I'm only 2 minutes slower than you. I'm going to come and beat you at the next beast. I'm like, bring it, brah. Let's go. I'm always there for a bit of friendly competition, but even for myself, like I've always had the plan of getting to that end goal of getting a top spot in the world, and I know where I'm at for my fitness. I know where I was at in 2019, 2020, and I'm just chipping away at that, and hopefully when the opportunity arises, Abu Dhabi, I love running in the heat, so hopefully that goes through, and we'll be feeling pretty good for that one. So
yeah, beautiful. Well, mate, it's been an exciting trajectory to trace over the years, watching you in the sport. Corey's saying he sent you a message. He reckons he's going to be the one who's going to tower you up. He's one of my clients, actually. He's getting pretty quick.
Yeah, Corey, I'm on the start line at nearly every race, so I'll see you. I'll see you on the next one, and mate, bring it.
I'll see you at Parkrun tomorrow, Corey. If you run a 15 tomorrow, then I'll tell you to step up to race like next week.
I think I remember speaking to Corey before the beast, and
he's a good kid.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good kid. He's definitely on his way to racing and being right in that top 10. It's just about doing the consistency. And I know he's training hard with you. I've seen on all your stories for enduro and stuff like that. So his heart's in it, and just keep chipping away, mate. Don't aim for the stars, but
consistency is key.
Yeah, you know it more than anyone. Actually, are you training for a triathlon at the moment?
I am. That was one of Michael Stewart's stupid ideas.
Well, no, I like
it. So Mick told me he was doing a Ironman. He's like, 2021, I'm going to do an Ironman. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll do an Ironman. And he's like, well, sign up. And I'm like, okay. So, So
which one are you doing?
The Cairns, June.
Oh, yeah.
The full 180k ride.
Yeah.
4k swim, 180k ride, 42k run.
I'll tell you.
I didn't even have a road bike until I fucking decided to do it.
Yeah. Mate, that's exciting. I know. So where we live, some of the top triathletes in the world live here, like Tim Reed and stuff like that. They were saying that's one of that they would say that's maybe in the top 1 or 2 toughest races in the world. So
excellent.
I think like just get ready to run in the heat, and just make sure you're training in the middle. Like, this is my advice, take it however you want. But I'd be doing midday sessions and just really trying to dial in on nutrition. That sounded like a big thing for that event, that guys just couldn't get in electrolytes, and their stomachs were just playing up towards the end of the marathon. So I just think really dialing in on that nutrition and making sure you're getting those electrolytes and calories, and being able to race and train in that heat. So
yeah, cool. What I might do, man, I might pick your brain if there's anyone in that space who that would be happy to come on and have a chat with me. Just
Yeah,
but like it'd be interesting for everyone who sort of follows, but I might learn
yeah.
some shit too, because
Yeah,
otherwise I'm gonna fucking die.
A couple of mates that are triathletes at the top of their game. The bloke that I was just mentioning before, Jack, he's who ran at Mount Warning with us. He's second in Australia currently. Yeah, so he's he's kind of like had a bit of a weird period with COVID because they cancelled heaps of the events and stuff like that. But I'm sure he'd give you a pretty good insight into that. Like, I think I train hard. When I listen to what those guys have to do, I'm like, I am a pussy. Like, I do no volume compared to what they're doing. Like, to be competitive, to put it into terms for anyone, you need to be running 90 to 100K weeks, you need to be swimming 20Ks a week, and you need to be cycling 300 to 400 kilometers per week. So,
which is I've always fucking mental. Like, just the time requirements of that.
20 to 30 hours. So I've always, it interested me for so long. And I think at some point I'll really knuckle down and have a crack at it. But I would need to do that nearly full time to get to where I want to do in that sport. So I have so many people go, "Oh, have you done an Ironman?" I was like, "No, I'm not yet." But like, it's just, I just think it's like, I think when we watched Port Macquarie, me and Beck went there to watch a few mates, and we'd finished the beach in Picton, and I was like, "Oh, my legs are a bit sore," like rah rah. And then we just saw the amount of pain that these guys go through for the day. Like, you're talking 10, 12 hours of racing, and that's a good time. And I'm going, I'm a little bit sore from my little 2.5 hour beast. I'm like, oh, my whole world has just been rattled right now. Like, I'm cheering on mates that are like spewing everywhere, like running marathons, like after an 8-hour day. Like, it's crazy.
Savage.
So yeah, I'm excited, mate. I'm really excited
for it.
Yeah, for sure.
For it. I don't imagine I'm going to get super competitive. I might give the age cat a nudge if I put my mind to it. But
huge accomplishment just to even just finish that. Like, that is huge.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I want to. Like, the distances don't particularly scare me. Like, I look at it and I'm like, I'm not scared that I could make it within the time hacks, but I think you've got like 17 hours to do it. But I want to, on my bucket list, so I wrote a bucket list a couple of years ago of all this fucking crazy shit. There's like 100 things on it that I want to do. And I've already done a bit of it, but there's some like crazy shit on this list. And one of them was the Kona Hawaii Ironman.
Yeah.
So to even get in, you've got to fucking qualify for it. So I've at least got to get to that level. So I thought, well, I better start giving this a nudge while I've still got some youth.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's just all about like building that time. Like, you're putting in the hours, the volume. You'll be able to really impress yourself. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to seeing the race.
You'll see it. It'll be everywhere.
Yeah.
Man, is there anything else you wanna plug while I've got you? Anything else happening that we haven't spoken about?
No. I would just maybe like to go over the fact of just overtraining one more time. I think it's my biggest lesson that I've learned. It's really easy to get excited and just punish your body time and time again. I'm the prime example of doing it. Like, I'll train through injuries and stuff like that. But I've learned the hard way multiple times with that. And guys, you're not going to lose any fitness from having like a week off and doing some rehab stuff, or just start cross training. But just listen to your body as best as you possibly can. And like, if you just stay consistent, like, factor it. If you've got an injury, factor it into your program. Stay accountable. Have a diary. And just tick those sessions off, have those small goals working towards those big goals, keep them more realistic. And if you just keep chipping away, like, for example, all right, this is definitely my worst result in my life. So in Spartan, Australia, I don't think I've come any worse than 5th. But when I first started Spartan race, I was running sprints against Dylan Party. I think Nick Gleason was even still relevant in those days, in top of the game. But I got offered an opportunity to go to the Spartan World Champs, and I was like a naive, like athlete, Spartan athlete, and I was like, "Hey, let's go. We're going over." Like, and I got to Lake Tahoe, and I had no idea what I was in for. Like, I remember going into that event, just going, "Oh yeah, I'll probably like get a top 20 finish. Like, I'll feel good, rah rah." I was nowhere near the amount of volume I needed. I hadn't raced in altitude. I had no idea the level of athletes that I was racing against. And I started that race, like cooked myself pretty hard in the first uphill, and then it just went downhill, and it got to the point where I was just I think that year it was like a 28k beast with like over 2,000 meters of vert, so pretty solid.
That's beefy.
And I did. For me, it was what I needed. I needed that reality check, like, hey, you're nowhere near where you thought you were. Like, you're not even close. Like, what year was this, Beck? 2017, my first year Spartan racing. And I just had a huge reality check. And, I guess for me, it put in perspective where I was, how delusional I was as well into where I thought I was. It was pretty embarrassing, to be honest. Like, I had friends over there that I was saying, "Oh yeah, like I'll be in the top 20, like maybe even top 10." Like, I laugh about it every time I think about it now. Because the athlete I was then to how I am now is just like two totally different people. So,
were you because I've only known you, for a couple of years. Were you a bit cockier back then, and maybe that taught you a bit of humility?
Yeah, I reckon 100%. Like, I would have had definitely a little bit more. I'm not going to say arrogance. Beck's laughing, but
what would you say, Beck?
I definitely had regarded myself.
You were naive.
Yeah, I was naive, and I regarded myself more of an athlete than what I was. And I think that for me was like, it was disheartening. It was shit. I spent all this money getting over there. Like, I was just talked it up. But at the same time, it took me like maybe a good year to swallow that pill and say, you know what, like, you needed that. Like, that was probably one of the best things for your career, because from that point, I stopped drinking. I was still going out. I was still doing what you do when you're in your mid-20s, young 20s, whatever. Yeah. And that for me was just like the game changer. Like, I was like, that's it. Like, I need to knuckle down. I need to put those hours into training. I need to be consistent. I was like a decent runner, but I had no consistency. Like, I was running 20, 30 Ks a week. Like, I had no training program. I was not specifically getting ready for an event. It was just like rocking up to an event and just doing what I can do for the day. And I just think, like, what I do now, I'll study the map, weeks out, I'll see where the location is, if I can work out how much vert's in it, factor in the training there. If it's a Marvel race and 5K, I'll specifically train for that, and I'll just dial myself in for that particular race. And yeah, it's like that kind of system for me is worked, and I think it all comes down to consistency. From that period onwards, I just said, that's it. I need to build my mileage. I need to do it smart. I need to work with a coach or get a coach to look over my program. And I need to just put in the hard work. And I think one thing people don't realize is the amount of work that actually goes into being at the top of your game. Like, if you're talking the top 3 spots, even in Australia at this point, like, you're going to be training hard. You're going to be putting in those hours. You've got to sacrifice a hell of a lot. Like, I sacrifice heaps. Like, my social life is seeing a few people at a park run in the morning, maybe catching up with someone like for a coffee. But like, my social life compared to how it was in that 2017 and now is totally different. It's like I'm training in the morning. I'm working for the day. I'm training in the afternoon. My nutrition's solid as, like, it's the same. Like, I'm not drinking alcohol. I don't put any shit in my body. And I'm getting better at recovering and looking after my body. So it's, like, to put it in perspective, like, I thought I could have been a professional athlete back there. And I look at it now and I'm like, mate, you were not even close. Like, you were another number. You were that guy at the back of the line. Like, I was just giving myself the hard word, and it's what I needed to kind of to train. So guys, stay consistent, be realistic with where you're at. Like, you can easily take a minute off your 5K, but you're not going to take 10 minutes off your 5K time. So just be consistent where you're at, train hard, put in the time, and look after your body. And if it's something you really want to go for it. Like, hard work will beat talent any day of the week. Any day of the week.
Yeah. Couldn't agree with that more. Carl's given you the some love as well. Carl, who's a very good athlete from WA, who I spoke to a few weeks ago. Wise words, man.
Yeah, so that's my little bit of wisdom. I'm no guru. I'm no world champ. I'm just another guy, another dreamer that's working hard along the way, chipping away, and just trying to get to my best, really, trying to reach my ceiling, as they call it. So hopefully I get to that point. And it's inspirational having, like, guys like Matt Murphy in my corner that came second in the world champs, and, like, he believes in what I can do. He's backed me from end of 2018, like, when I was just starting to get on the podium in the elite races and stuff like that. So like, he's a perfect example of the amount of work you got to put in to get to the top of your game if you're willing to sacrifice and work hard. So
definitely.
We're hard worker in the room. Someone's working harder, work harder.
That's it.
Yeah,
mate. It's been great to catch up and have a chat and see where you're at. And mate, we definitely won't leave it this long before we catch up next time. We'll maybe hit a couple of events and then see where you're at. But thanks for your time, man. Thanks for taking some time out of your Friday night. Cheers for everyone who came along and watched this, and cheers to anyone who's listened to this, because this will be published through Obstacle Racing Media. Matt B. Davis over in the States. We're going to start publishing the podcast over there, which is the reason for the rebrand. So if this is the first one you've listened to, thank you.
Can I just throw in one last thing, Matt? Sorry.
Of course.
This is going up on that page. I'm super excited that the World Champs is in a different spot than where it's been for the last couple of years. I think it's like the one thing that a World Championship event should be even across all boards. So if you're having a race that's at altitude, it's in the same spot. You're going to have the guys that live in altitude, training in altitude, like, obviously topping the top of that race. So I think it's awesome that they're looking at having an Abu Dhabi. They're bringing in other athletes that never used to race before. I was listening to a podcast with Hunter saying that he's pumped. Like, this is what it should be. This is a even playing field. Like, it's easier for guys for Australia to get there. It's easier guys from Europe to get there. It's not a glorified North American World Championship event. So super pumped on that, Spartan. And for all those guys that don't hear about the Aussie athletes, we're coming over there. Myself's coming over. Wooly, I'm sure Quinton's going to be there, and we'll give you a run for your money this year. So hopefully it all comes through, and they can pop us up on their podcast, and our names will be out there.
Fuck yeah, man. All right, buddy. Cheers for taking the time to chat. We'll catch up soon. And you hang around for 1 second, Liam, but I'll end the live. See you guys.
Cheers.